everyone! Welcome to another awesome episode of Epic Gen Table Talk. Today we're diving headfirst into the fascinating world of artificial intelligence. We have an amazing AI expert joining us later today, so grab your tech hats because we're about to explore this cutting-edge technology. I'm especially excited to see our special guest today, Google and Alexa.
Hi.
Best AI things ever.
Amazing.
Do you use any of
I wouldn't say them exactly, but I guess I would say I use Siri a lot.
Oh yeah, me too.
Yeah, I use Snapchat AI and ChatGPT a lot for schoolwork. Thank you. I don't think I would have passed high school or grade 9.
I use WhatsApp AI and Alexa. I use sometimes Google Assistant, but yeah.
Okay, so since we have a little bit of knowledge about the AI sphere, how about we test it? We have some questions, and we're going to answer them super rapid fire. I'm going to start. What's one job you think AI can't replace?
I would say driving. I know it's kind of hard, but I just feel like they just can't drive things because especially with cars, I feel like that's just so man-made. You need to manually drive it, and even with their systems as high tech as it is, they can't really examine things from a further thing. So like even Teslas sometimes get into car accidents because they can't really go that far.
That's a great example.
What about like taking care of animals in farming? I mean, maybe, but like they can't be around water, so
Oh yeah. Maybe like a pharmacist.
Okay, yeah.
Definitely, it's maybe something in the I know in the medical field they use like artificial intelligence and like robotics a lot, but I'm sure they can't like replace nurses and RNs and stuff. So, yeah.
Who wants to ask the next question?
Should the AI have rights?
I don't think AI should have rights because it isn't a real person. I think it has all the thinkings of a person because it gets all this information, but that information comes from real world experiences.
I agree.
completely agree too.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not really responsible enough. All humans aren't either, but like, it's not responsible enough to know all that stuff. Do you want me to go next?
Yeah.
Okay. What's the first word that comes to mind when you think of AI?
Robots.
I was gonna say Snapchat AI, but
You know, the ones we use all the time?
yeah. Have you noticed AI Sorry. Do you mind if I do this?
It's okay.
Have you noticed AI in social media, like, regularly?
Yes, I've seen like AI like TikTok dancers, like
Oh
the
my gosh,
K-pop idols, like they're AI. And
Those
it's
are
crazy.
so
AI
creepy.
groups
Yeah, I've seen that before too.
Even like Plankton singing. Have you guys heard that?
Oh my
Oh
god,
yeah.
yeah.
That's been all over, especially too. I remember like there was one Christmas when they like AI covered just SpongeBob characters.
Exactly. That's
Yeah,
crazy.
I've seen like, do you know those dark fantasy ones? The ones with like the ones with the TikToks that are like dark fantasy, and it's like Coraline, but in the 50s, and Coraline
oh
in the
my gosh,
70s,
I've seen
and it's
those.
so cool, but kind of scary at the same time.
I think that's a good example of how AI can be used to create something cool. I think that was a great conversation on AI, guys. I definitely think we got the brain juices flowing. So how about we meet our special guest expert who will give us the lowdown on AI. Stay tuned, because we'll be right back.
Virtually from Silicon Valley, California. She's a world-renowned computer scientist and a machine learning and artificial intelligence expert. She has written AI books for young children as well as textbooks for middle school and high school students. Please welcome founder of AI Club, Dr. Nisha Talagala.
Thank you so much for inviting me.
We're so happy to have you here. We're super eager to learn more about AI with you here now.
Absolutely.
Now, can you tell us, where did AI come from and where is it headed?
Absolutely. So the first thing to kind of know about AI is that AI is the way that computers try to do the same kinds of things that humans do. And the way that computers do this is by studying a lot of data and learning patterns. So what happened is that AI actually has been around for a very long time, like for more than 50 years. But what happened is that for the longest time, we just did not have enough information for it to learn patterns from, and we didn't have computers big enough for it to actually, start learning the patterns. Then over the last 10 years or so, we as humans became very, very good at storing information. So these days, for example, everything you do on your phone, everything you do on your computer, all of it is stored. And so we have this like amazing history of information about our behavior, about planets, about nature and stuff like that. And that information now means that AIs can learn. We also have very, very big computers now because of a type of computing called cloud computing, where big companies create large buildings filled with computers that the rest of us can rent. And so, because these two things kind of came together, a lot of information, we learned how to store it and keep it, and we learned how to build very powerful computers that now many people can use. So, that is why the AI that had been kind of like lying asleep for a long time suddenly woke up and started becoming very, very advanced very quickly. So that's where it came from. So now if you think about that, think about where it's going. AI is going to be growing faster and faster every day from now on. And so, in fact, one of the things that people like to say is that any AI that you use right now, even if you think is amazing, it will probably be the worst AI you will see for the rest of your life. From now on, it will get better, fancier, and stuff like that. The reason is because these computers are becoming more and more available, more and more data is always being stored and gathered. And now people are excited about AI, which means they're also going to work on it more. So you can imagine that AI will become easier, find it easier to answer your questions. It will be able to answer more complicated questions as well as do more complicated strings of things for you. Does that make sense?
That's really cool. Do you have any tips on how to use AI tools, say ChatGPT, in a responsible way for homework?
It's a really good question, and I'm sure it's a question that's on the minds of many, students your age, and with many students that I work with as well. So I think there's a few things that I think I'd like to share. So the first thing is that whatever your school has decided is the policy for you to use AI, please follow that. So some of these tools like ChatGPT came along really suddenly. And so for many schools, they're not yet quite sure how they think about it and what they think is right for you. So whatever they have asked you to do, the first and most important thing is please do that. Regardless of anything else that you think might be the better thing, it's very much in your interest to follow whatever instructions your school is saying. Now, the next thing I think is that if your school has said that you are allowed to use AI, then what you will find is that you will get the most out of the learning experience as well as usually stay in line with what schools are recommending if you use it in a way that augments your brain. So let me tell you what is not okay. Say that your teacher gives you an assignment and says, write me a 500-word essay on World War II. Here is what is not okay. What is not okay is, telling ChatGPT, please write me a 500-word essay on World War II, copying it, pasting it into a file and handing it to your teacher. That is not okay. That is against every policy I've ever heard of, as well as it simply helps you learn nothing, right? Now, here's something that might be okay. So what could be okay is that you can ask ChatGPT, hey, what are some of the interesting things that happened during World War II, right? What could they be? Where can I learn more about them? Right? And just kind of think of it as someone that you're bouncing ideas off of. Same as, you may have gone to your parents and said, hey, I need to write an essay about World War II, right? What are some of the cool things you know about that I might want to dig into, right? Or you might say, I have a strong opinion about World War II. Tell me a counter opinion so that I can see whether my opinion is any good. Like review my opinion, give me feedback. Those are nice ways to use the tool because it basically it's kind of like it helps you develop your own ideas. It's just there to help you think through the ideas that were your own to begin with. So that is generally when I encourage students, and it's also how I use it myself. So I use it, to sort of explore my own thoughts, basically, So I share ideas that I've been thinking about, see whether it has anything to add. Sometimes I give it things I have written and say, act like a reviewer. Tell me what's good or bad about this, and things like that, or if I have a sentence and I say, you know what, I've used, 15 words, is it possible to say the same sentence in 8 words? Or something like that. So if you use it to make what you have created a little better, you will find that it can be actually very useful. But again, make sure that whatever you're doing is something that your teachers are comfortable with. And, that usually is the best way to go.
Wow, that's very interesting. So, how do you think AI could impact our jobs in the future, and how can we prepare for it?
So, no, very, very good question. So, AI is very likely to impact almost every job in the future. Right now, the IMF, which is one of the organizations that controls finances around the world, believes that as many as 40% of all jobs in the world will be affected by AI in the next couple of decades. And the reason for that is because, if you think about what AI is, right, what I said, right, it's about learning patterns from data. Now, patterns are everywhere. Patterns are in, for example, how people look and feel when they have diseases. Patterns are in the way that we go to work, and sometimes, so if you have studied, chances are, if you have a rough sense in your mind of how long it takes to get to school in the morning, and you know that if you wake up at a certain time, you will be late. If you don't wake up, if you wake up earlier, you will be right on time. That's a pattern. So you can see that patterns exist in pretty much every area of life. And AI is really, really good at finding patterns and then using those patterns to help you do things faster, better, sometimes just tell you what's about to happen, before you worry about it, things like that. And so short version is it's how do I put it? It's going to be a tool that is going to be necessary for almost everyone in the world. So another analogy that I like to think about is think about cars, okay? So you guys may not know, but the early versions of cars, like for example, the cars that were in the 1920s, you needed to know how the engine worked to drive the car. The reason is because you had to control the air fuel mixture, the exact braking, right? And if you did not control the air fuel mixture, the car would stop. The best case scenario is the car stops. The worst case scenario, the car might explode, and stuff like that. But now think about cars, right? I mean, can any of us do anything these days without somehow relying on a car? Now, you guys don't drive yet, but the food that you eat, was not grown at your grocery store. It was grown somewhere else in the world, and it got to your grocery store through a car, and chances are your parents brought it to your house with a car. Similarly, we use Uber, we use, buses to get around and so forth. So we cannot imagine daily life without a car, but most of us, and certainly not me, I cannot explain to you how a car engine works. But, so I'm a car practitioner, I'm a car consumer. I know how to buy cars, I know how to drive one, I know where to get a license, I know what to do when the little light starts blinking red. So I use cars to do my job, but there are also people who design car engines. There are people who sell cars, right? People who review cars. So there'll be lots and lots of jobs in AI just like that. And there will be a lot of people who will be using AI one way or the other, and they need to know different things about it. Not everyone will know how the engine works, but we will all need to know how to use it. And some of us will know a little more than others about the engine because our jobs require it. So short version, everyone has to know something about AI, but not everyone needs to know everything.
What are some ways for teens to learn more about AI, especially if their schools don't offer any AI courses?
A really good question. So, actually, the way that I met Glorianne and others is that I run an organization called AI Club, and we teach AI to kids. So we teach AI to kids, from honestly grade 3 onwards. And we also have books for kids who are in grades 1 and 2 and kindergarten. So that's definitely one way to learn. You can go to our website. There's a lot of free stuff on there that you can use to just sort of explore AI. You can explore how other people, how other kids your age, what they have done, what they've learned, see them talk about it in their own words. That's a great place to get started.
So, as you know, I've done AI Club in the past. But before that, I had no idea where I could do STEM activities. What advice do you have for young girls who are interested in tech and AI but might be intimidated by the field?
Absolutely, really good question. So I think the first thing that I know this is, it doesn't sound like a lot, but the first thing I would really say is don't be intimidated. There's no reason to be, and just if it's something that you feel that you're excited about, please, go ahead and do it. What you will find is that these days there are a lot of girls going into, STEM and tech, and so you will not be alone. That's the first thing that I kind of wanted to say. Now, the second thing is that, AI is actually a very cool way for girls to get into STEM. The reason is that AI is, like I said, it applies to pretty much every problem. So in the past, if you had thought that, okay, getting into computer science meant that you had to really, really enjoy coding or really, really enjoy math, those are still a part of it, but AI is also a lot more about solving problems. So, for example, I had a student who she's an artist and she likes to draw, and she basically taught an AI to tell the difference between a good drawing and a bad drawing. So she trained her own AI, and you could give it drawings, and then the AI would say, you know what, this drawing is not very symmetric, the color, the shadows are not very good, the shading is not very good, please work on these things. And if you do it better, then the AI will say, oh, this one's looking really good. So we had another student who basically built a ballet tutor using AI, and she's a ballet dancer by nature. So one of the things that happens is that if you do the ballet wrong, first of all, you are very likely to injure yourself. And so there's a lot in terms of how you position your body, how you do the movement, the speed of the movement. And she was able to teach an AI how to learn all of those things. And that way, students who cannot afford to go to like a ballet, studio or something can practice ballet at home, where the AI would basically be on the phone watching, the student dance and then telling them what is wrong with their movement. So then, there's many students who've done work in, astronomy, in biology, in different chemistry, helping the environment, helping with recycling. And so the point I'm kind of trying to make is that the nice thing about technology like AI is that it is bringing computer science and the world together. So you don't have to necessarily start by thinking, okay, computer science is the thing or STEM is the thing. It's more like, I have a problem I care about, and I care about that problem, and I want to figure out how to make it better. And then the technology becomes the way you solve the problem rather than, and then along the way you become, very knowledgeable. So I would say, first of all, don't be afraid, and maybe if you're not so sure about the tech and the STEM, use your passion as your starting guide. Figure out what you care about, figure out a problem in your community or around the world that you want to help solve, and then the technology becomes a way to help you do that.
There seems to be a lot of connections with AI in the real world. Well, moving on from this, we're gonna dive into some awesome AI activities. But first, we're going on a quick break, so grab your laptops and join in the fun. We'll be right back.
Welcome back, everyone. It's time to dive into AI and learn from the expert. For those watching, make sure you have your laptop so you can join along and do these activities with us. Dr. Talagala, take it away.
All right, everyone. So we are going to build two AIs today. The first AI is going to learn patterns in images, pictures basically, and we're going to train it by actually turning on our video cameras on our computers. The second AI is going to basically learn sentences, and that AI will give you a bit of a feel for how technologies like ChatGPT work. Now, ChatGPT is, of course, way more complicated than what we're going to build today, but the basic ideas that are going to be used today are very, important even in applications like ChatGPT. So the first thing I'm going to do is to share my screen, and we're going to go through the first AI. So all of these AIs you can build yourself using the tools that are on the AI Club website. This is the AI Club website, and I'm going to show you how to get from this website to the exercises, and then we're going to do the exercises together. So first thing, when we're going to try to learn how to teach AIs about pictures, we are going to go to resources, go to something called AI Club Gym. And within the AI Club Gym, there's a lot of fun tools that you can try out, but we are particularly going to try out one called image classification. So now, remember what we talked about? We said that AIs learn patterns, and they learn patterns from information that they've given. So I'm going to teach my AI to tell whether or not I'm wearing a mask. Now, you can do anything you want. You can hold up an object, you can, move around stuff, but the important thing to remember is that it needs to learn a pattern, and for patterns, it needs a lot of examples. So the first category that I'm going to teach it about is just what I look like, me. So I'm going to say category is called me. I'm going to turn on my webcam, and this is me, right? And when I say hold to record, it will take a whole bunch of pictures of me. And right now I'm looking for about 30. There we go. So I've got about 30 pictures of me. Okay, so that's the first category. It's just pretty much what I look like. Second category is what I look like when I'm wearing a mask. Now, you don't have to have a mask. You can hold a hand over your face. You can pretty much do anything you want. I'm going to put on a mask. So now it's going to record me wearing a mask. So I got roughly, now remember, I didn't get exactly 30. You don't have to, as long as you have roughly the same number, it's good. So I had 31 pictures of me, without a mask, and 33 pictures of me with a mask. So now it has enough information that it's going to try to learn the pattern. So now we will give it typically it takes about 2 minutes to do this. So we'll wait, and then we'll see whether it's able to tell the difference. And again, when you do this exercise yourself, you don't have to create a mask. You can hold up an apple in front of your face. You can cover your face with your hands. You can change clothes, whatever it is that you want it to learn how to tell the difference. So what's happening right now is it's reading all of the images, and it's going to try to process them into a format where it's going to start to learn the patterns. You can now see that it's gone into what is called training. That's usually what it's called when it's starting to learn its patterns. When it's done, it'll tell us so, and then we will see whether it can tell the difference. All right, it's done.
Me.
Seems to know that I'm not wearing a mask.
Me with mask. Me. Me with mask. Me. Me with mask. Me.
So you can kind of see the general idea, right? And so this one's really easy to do. You just kind of, pick, 2 different things that you want to try and give it a go. So that's the first one. Then what we are going to do is go back to the AI Club website, and we're going to try out a second exercise. Now, this one is actually going to require that you log in. So we're going to click login, and you can log in by you can create yourself an account. I'm going to log in with Google, but you can create an account for yourself, and then you will end up exactly where I am. So I'm going to say continue with Google. And then once you log in, you'll end up in a screen like this, and then you can click on your avatar and select the option that says go to Navigator. Now, Navigator is a tool where you can build more AIs. The one that we tried last time can only build images, but this one can build lots of different kinds of things. So I'm going to create an AI that can detect my mood from sentences. I'm going to say, and you can call it anything you want. Detect mood from a sentence. Let's just say that. Now, again, AIs learn from information and they learn patterns from data. So there's lots of different ways that you can do data. Pictures are just one way to do data. Now we're going to take data that is sentences. So I'm going to take a data set of sentences that is already stored on there. Now the steps are simple. You just say simple storage service, AI Club data sets, and I'm going to pick a file called mood project 3. You guys can try out other things as well when you have time, but this is the one that we're going to use at this moment. So now let's look at this data. How does it look like? It looks very different from the data that we used for the pictures. This one is actually a table. It has sentences in it, and the sentences are marked as either sad sentences or happy sentences. So the idea now is that the AI is going to learn from these sentences intended emotion is. Now the way that the AI is going to break down these sentences and break them up and learn the pattern, that is the kind of technology that is used in ChatGPT, except that ChatGPT takes it like 10 levels further and is able to understand very complicated nuances of information. So now we're going to build an AI. I'm not going to go too deeply into the steps involved here, but the important thing to remember is that we have to convert our data into numbers. And then once we have the numbers, then we're going to try to learn a pattern. And we're going to try to predict our feeling. So at this step, what is happening is that the sentences are going to be turned into numbers that the AI can then use to study for pattern. And this again should take about 30 seconds. All right, that's Step is done. Now it's called training. So this is where the AI is going to learn the patterns of sadness and the patterns of happiness. So once this is done, we can talk to our AI. So now we can talk to our AI, and we're going to do that here in this, method called retrain. So this one, remember, whenever an AI learns something, a pattern from something, it's going to expect that same kind of information. So previously we learned from pictures, so it was expecting a picture. Here we learn from sentences, so now it's expecting a sentence. This particular AI can't look at me and tell me whether or not I'm happy, the same way that the previous AI could not take a sentence. So now we have to give it a sentence. So let's try something simple. I am happy. Let's try another easy one. I am crying. Okay, let's try a tricky one. I am crying with joy. So you can see that it's actually decently bright. You'll find when you try it that it doesn't know everything. There's lots and lots of stuff it doesn't know, but they do have, even these simple ones are able to pick up patterns. So hopefully that kind of helps you to see, some cool, fun things you can do. You can, try out your own data. You can, everybody has a different definition of happy and sad. For example, if you type, I ate broccoli, most people, that's not a very pleasant experience, but some people love broccoli. So if you are one of those people who thinks broccoli is one of the happiest things in the world, you can teach the AI that. So any questions, guys?
I don't think we have any questions. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Wonderful. It was a pleasure to be here. Thank you, guys.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
I don't know about you guys, but I'm totally starting with me and me with my phone. I'm always on my phone, and I think it'd be so cool if AI could guess that. Okay, guys, let's take photos of me. That's about 30 photos. Now let's look at me with my phone. I'm gonna hold the phone in front of my face, and now we're taking a bunch of photos. There we got about 30 images, and now we're gonna train the model. It takes about like 2 minutes or so, as Dr. Talagala said. And now it's done. Let's see. This is me, and this is me holding my phone. Oh, the AI guessed it! So how about you guys?
All right, so now it's my turn. So first, I'm just gonna... All right, that's just me with my face. Now let's do something with my fingers. All right, that's mostly about it. Let's see if it works. All right, it's finished. In the first category I got right. The second category is still just like, doesn't really know what it's doing.
Okay, now it's my turn. I've already trained mine, and I did me with glasses and me without glasses. Let's see. Is it guessing me with glasses? Me without glasses. I think it's getting closer. Oh, I didn't get it right this time. Me with glasses? Me without glasses. Close enough. There's not much of a difference.
All right, so I did me and me with a pose. So here's me, around 80%, and then here's me with the pose. Oh, when you do two, I only did one hand, but when you do two, it's like closer. Cool.
Guys, that was so cool. I love seeing all the different ideas you came up with. How about we try a different exercise?
Sure.
Here I am on this my own mood tracker, where I am gonna ask a sentence to the AI. I'm gonna ask, I am happy. What am I feeling? Oh, it's predicting. It's happy. It got it correct. I am sobbing with happiness. That's a difficult one because sobbing is typically associated with sadness, but the happiness is applied, so I hope it gets it right. It got it right. Let's try another one. I am crying my eyes out. Sad. My hamster died. It's sad.
I think I'm on it.
Okay, I'm like, does everyone just want to look at my screen and then copy it? Okay, guys, we're gonna go to create an AI service. Oh, okay, so go to Navigator. Is everyone on Navigator?
What? Navigator.
Navigator, did you make an account?
Oh, here. Yeah.
Yeah, it says
Is
go to
everyone on
at the very top.
Navigator?
Yeah.
Oh, you have to log in.
Log in, Tristan. Has everyone submitted it?
Yep.
Great. So now you're gonna click on where is the data located. You're gonna click Simple Storage Service. From there, it'll ask which folder or bucket you would like to use. You're gonna click AI Club Datasets. And from there, you're gonna, it might be hard to like find if you scroll through, but it's mood, project3.csv. You can also type in mood, and that might be easier to find. From there, click AI Club. Are you guys okay?
Mm-hmm.
Great.
So mood_project_3 CSV.
Yes.
Okay.
Once you're done finding your data set, you're going to move on to feature engineering, and you're going to be predicting feeling. Once you're done, you will be going to the train page. It is right next to feature engineering, so once everything's processed, looks like yours is processed.
I think mine has.
Yep, yours is processed. If you see a giant check mark, you're good.
Right.
Then go up to the top, click train.
Train.
You're just gonna click train. You don't have to change any of the settings on it. You just click train. So it should say like sklearn serverless and automatic. You don't have to change that. There's like a red button at the bottom that says train on it. So you just click that and it should start loading, as you can see on my screen. There's a bunch of check marks and it'll go through a couple different stages as the AI learns. So I learned that the metric value here that you see on my screen, if you'd like to view that, right here, it's right next to the waffle-looking thing, represents how accurate that certain algorithm is. So for example, this algorithm is 65% accurate. Once you're done training your AI, you will move on to retrain.
Retrain?
Retrain. Because that's where you're able to talk to it. Monitors, if you like have any difficulties or your percentage is really low and you want to know why, you'd go to monitor. Who wants to go first?
Let's go, let's go. Okay. I just got back from a party.
That sounds fun.
Unless you don't like parties. You never know. Happy. Makes sense.
I hate parties. That's sad.
How about I have a car? I want to see how it reacts to that.
I mean, you should be happy. I don't think there's a reason to be sad about it.
Unless it's like a really bad
It said
car.
it's sad again.
Well, you could always click this prediction is wrong.
Yeah, click this prediction is wrong, I think.
Then you can click retrain and try it again. Maybe this time it'll have a different answer.
More accurate answer. 'Cause
More
I don't think he'll be
accurate
sad
answer.
if he gets a car. You know?
Or maybe it just was being moody.
Today's episode was incredible and I learned so much. A huge thanks to Dr. Talagala for all her AI expertise. For our viewers, be sure to check out AI Club for more classes. You can also visit our website for more projects we've done with AI Club. Keep exploring and embracing technology, but always responsibly. Until next time, here at Epic Gen Table Talk.